everybody, Edo here, and this year I am doing a top 10 Blue-Orange Games video. Now, I've never really done a top 10 by a specific publisher, but this year was interesting. It was interesting because Blue-Orange Games hired me to do some virtual con sort of playthroughs, and in the process sent me like a ton of games. If you've watched this channel, I feel like I reviewed 25 plus Blue-Orange games this year. Now, again, I wasn't paid for those reviews or anything. I was paid for the virtual conventions, but, you know, and I put them, you know, I made note of it in front of every single one of those videos, and so thank you for being patient with that. But I felt that it was important. But I just didn't want, there was such a huge amount of Blue-Orange games, I didn't want to include them in my normal top 10. Like, it just felt like there were so many, I don't know. So what I've done is I'm just doing a dedicated video for Blue-Orange stuff, and that I'm not including Blue-Orange in my top 10 games of the year, and not including it in the top 10 Kickstarters. I am going to do a top 10 kids games, and I've decided to include it because there are not as many kids games, and the reality is Blue-Orange does a great job with kids games. Also, I thought I would start with 3 duds, 3 games this year that didn't really work for me, that for Blue-Orange, and then I'll get into the top 10. As a quick reminder, these aren't games that were released this year, these are games I reviewed this year. And one of the duds was in like November, December of last year, just threw it in there. Okay, so for the 3 games for Blue-Orange, I really didn't love or like this year. One is Kingdomino Duel. Kingdomino Duel's fine. But boy, and this was when I bought, but boy, I was excited. I love 2-player games. I love roll and write games. I love Kingdomino. I was super excited, and it just felt super flat, super mechanical, didn't have the flow or the feel of Kingdomino, and I just felt like the game could have been done better or differently. So that one missed for me. And if you disagree with any of these, let me know in the comments. Dragon Market? Dragon Market is the game with the characters, you're turning them by their hat, and you're moving around a riverbed, and it just fell flat, didn't feel that great mechanically, and then there were some visual, like, usability issues with it, but then also, like, thematically, it felt a little weird with how you're, like, rotating these guys by the hats and that kind of thing, and so that one fell short for me. And the last one, which a lot of people like, is Cloud City. If you've seen my Cloud City review from this year, I felt like those pieces just are not stable enough. The game is actually great. I really enjoy Cloud City as a great, but the degree to which placing the bridges on top of the towers and how thin the towers are and them falling over, for my household, it was too finicky, too fragile to get consistent plays. Again, if you don't have that problem and it's stable, Cloud City is great. I mean great. I probably would have included Cloud City in the top 10. But for me, that usage challenge was just too consistent for it to be overlooked. Okay, those are those games. Just wanted to lay them out there. Let's dive into my top 10 Blue-Orange games that I reviewed this year. So coming at number 10 is Pappy Winchester. If you haven't played it, Pappy is this very deluxe, gigantic auctioning game where you are betting on little land parcels, and when you get those parcels, you are working towards different set collection and different value and bonuses and stuff to hopefully have the most money at the end of the game. It's a closed auction system where money that gets spent then gets pushed out to, the winning auction gets pushed out to the other players, and you know, any remainder gets put onto a building. You can get it from later. And it's the most deluxe auctioning game I've played. That's also sort of lightweight and fun and family friendly. Like, it's not too heavy, and it's just deluxe, and I dug it. My wife, who doesn't like auction games, did not dig it. It's 19 auctions in a row. Coming in at number 9 is Fish Club. Now, Fish Club is a kid's game. This is like for really young, not young, you know, it's essentially Connect 4, but instead of dropping in fixed columns, you have these fish that sort of bobble around in like a glass, it's plastic, but like in a cutout of a fish bowl. And I actually enjoy Connect 4, and I like Fish Club more. It's like, it's got some kinetic, dynamic feel to it. It plays quick. It works with kids. It works with all ages. I dig it. I really enjoy playing that game. I think it's really nicely done. Coming in at number 8, right? I got to keep 10, 9, 8. Coming in at number 8 is Slide Quest. Slide Quest is essentially what would happen if we took a marble maze game and turned it into this deluxe, amazingly high production value game where you're moving around a marble that's a hero, going in trying to like dodge traps and dynamite and fight enemies and knock things over. Unbelievable production value, super high quality, lots of content for what would otherwise be a simple maze game. I did the review with Ethan. He played, I mean, I played it, but he played through like every single one of their missions or cards. Really impressive, really impressive. So coming in at number 7 is Cross Clues. Cross Clues is essentially a party version. I mean, okay, Codenames is a party game, but it's like Codenames, but slightly different. And what you're trying to do is set up a grid, A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and underneath those spots, you're putting a word. And there's like a ton of these word cards. You use one side of it, so each one has 4 different options, and like, I don't know, what do you think? 30, 40, 50? And essentially what you're trying to do is you're going to draw one of these, everyone's going to draw one of these coordinate cards, and you get a coordinate, C5, B2, you know, A1, whatever. And then that player looks at that word, so C5 is paper and nice, and then has to think of a word, that one word that sort of would allow other people to guess that combination on the rest of the team. So like, nice paper, I could say parchment, I could say origami maybe, and if they think, oh, okay, parchment, I think that's C5, somebody calls it out, and I say, yeah, you got it. And I place it down there, it's a point. Also, there's no dupes, so you know like no one else is going to be C5. So it sort of gets a little faster as you play, and you have less known unknowns. But it's a lightweight, word-based party game that's like Codenames, but different enough that feels fresh and interesting and fun. And at this point, I'd probably pull it out before pulling out Codenames. Next, coming in at number 6 is Animix. Animix is a very simple set collection game or majority area set collection game type of thing, but where you have a grid of animals that score in different ways. And what you are doing is swapping cards out from the table and how they score, or putting cards down in front of you. You have like a one decision action, and it based on what you have left in front of you. Like if you put something on the board, you take it to in front of you. But what you have left in front of you ends up being a majority. Whoever has a majority of that animal gets scored the animal. So it's like a spatial animal on the table. Vibe works well. I really like that kind of game. It's simple, easy, and fun, and it really worked. Coming in at number 5 is Starlink. Starlink is the game where you make your own constellations. You just have a gigantic star field. You are drawing shapes to try to get people to see if they can pick what your object was, but having to connect the dots. It just works. It's a great idea. Kudos to whoever thought of it. Coming in at number 4. Number 4 is Planet. This is one of the bigger box games they did, or at least I played this year, where you have this octagon, hexagon, maybe it was 12-sided, maybe it was 12, but this planet, and it's this magnetic ball hex thing, and you are picking up hexes, tiles, and doing area connection game around this world in the hopes of scoring different points based on animals. So you're like essentially creating regions for the hope of scoring different creatures to join your planet. It's abstract. It works. It's one of these gigantic showpiece games where the piece is the centerpiece of it. Like it's like, what if you had this amazing component and it works? It's fun. It's light, and I was pretty impressed with it. Coming in at number 3 is Battle Sheep. Battle Sheep is a really, really simple abstract strategy game where you are taking a gigantic stack of sheep and trying to get as many tiles with your sheep as other people are blocking you and stopping you from doing so. I didn't expect it to be as much fun as it was. It really is great, and I just highly recommend it. Super simple, very accessible, easy to play. Very, very cool game. Coming in at number 2 for me was Blue Lagoon. This is a Kinesia game, and again, another one I was super impressed. You're exploring and taking over and sort of area controlling islands to get different points in different ways. You have to come in on boats and then walk on the islands, and as you do, you create settlements that, as you move around. Phase 1, you score out, and then you play it again, but now you play it based on the settlements you left behind. Really just, the math is fantastic. The game really works. I thought it was really fun and easy to teach and enjoy. And I loved it. I really thought it was great. So for Blue-Orange Games, coming in at number 1 is Meeple Land. I think Meeple Land is fantastic. Terrible insert, but I think it is fantastic. And I'm a huge fan of Zularedo. I feel like it's right in there with it. I like the tiling. I like the marketplace. I like the dynamic of, the getting the people from the buses. It really worked for me. I highly recommend it. Not a gateway family game, but like a one-step up family game, because I wouldn't consider Zularedo a gateway family game, like a Ticket to Ride. It's like one step up, but you're building your carnival, your circuit. No, you're building your amusement park is the word. You're building your amusement park, putting down rides, connecting paths, bringing in customers or amusement people go to an amusement park. Customers, I guess that's right, and they're going on rides, and you're trying to get victory points from them. So you're getting money from them that turns into victory points. Again, all of these I have reviews that go into more detail, but I thought Meeple Land stands out to me. I certainly really enjoyed it. So those were all the Blue-Orange games. Again, some of these games might have scored in my top 10 for the year, but I've decided not to. I'm not including them. So you will see a couple of these back on the kids side in the kids games, but not in the none of these were Kickstarters, but not in the Kickstarters, but also more particularly not in the top 10 games. Anyway, thanks. Bye. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff, but most importantly, play some great games. Thanks. Bye.